Hello everyone, the name is Lonewulf Jr. and I am here with, I believe, a rising legend and already noticed by one of the greats, which is Nurko, happening tonight in the Harbor NYC. That is Mr. Lonewulf right here. I am honored and blessed to finally meet you at last, well again, and to tell you that I'm so proud and excited for your journey already kind of blowing up steadily but smoothly. It's for you to get to this point of being one of the people representing Nurko in the Harbor NYC, in the NYC show. Well, first let me ask this question first. How does it feel to be noticed by Nurko for him to say, you know what, we're going to bring Lonewulf onto our lineup?
Well, honestly, a lot of it has to do with the club. And the club, the thing about the New York City nightlife, a lot of it is just knowing people. And I guess their management to prove to me being on the show, because I've been looking for a show to come back to Denver, and up to Denver. I've been living in Denver, and I wanted to come back to New York City to play a big show. Only time I've really played a show here in New York City was my EP release party. It was very small, maybe like 20 people. So this is honestly one of the biggest shows I've ever played, and it honestly feels great that they're letting me be on the show representing the wave community. Because I think the melodic dubstep community is some community that I really think will be open to hard wave and wave music in general. So being able to represent my community and try to build that bridge is just such an honor.
What is it about wave music or that community that really stuck out to you and you really want to be a part of that community so much more?
So the first thing that got me into it is when I first started producing. I was producing a lot of different genres, but I really began to realize I needed to produce something that was stuck out, it was new, and I had this idea of combining trap and trance, and I didn't know it was wave music at the time. So then about maybe a year later, I discovered wave music, and I realized, well, I guess that's more hard wave than wave, and it just sucked me in more and more into music. The community is great, we're all very connected. Once you get into the community, it's very easy to befriend all these different artists because we all just support each other. And I don't really see that in trap or future-based communities, which is where I originally came from. So I just got more and more into wave, moved more from hard wave to just plain old wave, which is the less EDM-y version of hard wave.
So
although wave came first, it's more to say that hard wave is the EDM version of wave. And here I am now.
So pretty much already hard wave already existed in the community pretty much. So you combining trap and trance at first, you thought you were making something new, but it wasn't really anything.
That's exactly what it was.
Anything new.
And finding people that were doing the same thing, I was like, oh, here we go. I could be around similar people.
Well, here's the thing. Are there any let's say wave people, artists, or those type of artists did you listen to a lot of, or that got you into that type of genre? Because I feel I'm a person who's really into a lot of different genres, but I know there are certain genres out there in EDM Venn diagram that can be either pushed aside or people don't really know about that much. Right. So are there any other wave artists or hard wave, soft wave, or any other type of wave that you listen to and let's say someone wants to know more about hard wave and know about the wave community, who can you lead them to besides just you?
First off, I have to shout out my mentor, Hamanu.
Is that Imanu?
Hamanu.
Hamanu.
One of my good buddies, shout out to him. He taught me a lot of what I know today, and I think he's really a good branch off between. It's hard to call him a full wave artist because he's doing his own thing that I guess a lot of the wave community wouldn't consider wave, but he's also doing a lot of things that the future-based trap community would consider it. And he's very deep into wave culture. And I personally consider him a wave artist, but I think he's a good entry point for getting into hard wave. And then of course got Dead Crow, another really good friend of mine, Remnant. It's kind of funny just mention names and say they're a friend of mine, because pretty much every single name I'm going to mention now is a friend of mine, because we're just such a close-knit community. But Remnant and Dead Crow are also great ways to get in. Altair, Bafu, I think all these are making very digestible hardware. And then of course you've got Skeller and Wilo, just very they're just legends in the scene. And as you get more and more, you can listen to the more softer stuff, which like Climax, who invented Wave, and Careful, of course, and Bacon. Sublab's also a really good hard wave name to listen to, and I think he's really about to blow up. He has that collab with Tisoki coming out, I believe, sometime very soon. I believe it's on his Tisoki's next EP.
That's amazing.
I think those are really good entry points to get people into wave music. I really think people who are coming from a hard wave, especially from someone who listens to Ophelia or that whole melodic dubstep that really takes a lot of derivatives and trance, I think those are really good entry points into the hard wave.
That's amazing to hear. And let me guess, so some of those people that you mentioned that you can kind of say let's say that they can be perfect examples, or you said mentors when it comes to the wave music. Let's say if it was like your name as a headliner, your name is Shining Lights, would some of those people you would choose as your
absolutely
as your support artist?
I've said it many times how once I get to that, I can't wait to the point where I'm putting on my very talented friends on, or even I'm going on tour with these talented people, and I think any of those people I would be more than happy to share a billing with.
That would, well, hopefully you can do it first, because I already hear the amazing power and passion that is within your own music, through your mixes and through your virtual mixes, and of course we cannot. It'd be wrong if I did not mention about the debut EP that is Arcane. That is a 5-track EP that was released, I believe, in Next Door. Am I correct?
No. So that was my date. That was a self-release I released back in November of last year. I spent close to 2 years working on it. Actually, today is the 1-year anniversary of the first single, Epiphany. So the whole EP was just documenting my journey to moving into future-based / hard wave, and I kind of just pieced it together. I'm currently working on another EP, hopefully coming out next year, which is going to be very different from that.
Nice.
But I'm still very proud of that EP that I did. My first label release was on Decora, and that was Penumbra, which came out in March, and that would really also opened a lot of the gates to the wave community for me, because I think a lot of people started listening to my music to do that, and that opened up to my release on this tool that happened last night. It's opened up for a bunch of other releases that I can't really say much more about.
No, don't say anything much. I think you pretty much said enough with what's going to be coming next for Lonewulf, but I'm just honored and blessed that there are people out there who are seeing the beauty within you and are giving you the opportunity to shine and let people know this is who you are. This is music I'm really into, and I hope you guys just enjoy it. So I'm just happy of giving you the opportunity, giving you a chance. Especially, I know you mentioned that it was really Harbor NYC that kind of picked you out from somewhere to be put in this lineup with Nurko and Orlos and Ariana, and that's pretty incredible too. But well, I was going to ask this question. If you want to answer this question, if you don't want to answer, then okay, sure, don't. But are there any certain songs or stuff like that from Nurko that really inspired you, or you really enjoy from him? I usually would tell people, what's your song from this artist if you know the artist pretty well. But
to be honest, my tastes have changed very much over the years, that I don't really follow melodic dubstep. I don't think it would be fair to say I don't like his music. I think it would be fair for me to say I like his music,
right?
Because I don't really follow that genre. But I'm just very happy to be part of this. And
so this would be your first time ever experiencing him live.
Yes.
Well, I'm just gonna just simply say this: when you see someone as incredible as Nurko, you're gonna be in for a treat, and you will see why he has built him up to where he is right now, because he is kind of incredible. So I feel like you're gonna be witnessing something amazing when you go through those doors and see him get on stage. But first off, let's make sure you get your shine on stage as well, and make sure everyone else does too, because it's you guys who I always support, who I always love to see first, because it's you guys who are the building blocks of this EDM generation, this next generation of electronic dance music, and people are doing a lot of stuff. They're doing their own dubstep stuff, doing their trap stuff, yeah, sure. But someone like you that's introduce people to something so much more different and something that I don't think maybe what they hear of. Like you said, it's trap and trance trying to combine together. People heard of trap before, people heard of trance before, but I doubt that there are people out there who would try and combine it together, which I absolutely admire in any artist combining two things that you think is better separate, but you find a way to bring it together and make it something so much more, something grand and something that is worth hearing, that's worth seeing. So I can hardly wait to see someone like you shine on stage and let people know this is Hard Wave. If you don't know what this is, well, guess what? I'm happy to be the introduction to that genre to you.
I'm very grateful for TCYL events and Harbor for putting me on, because one of the great things is I'm actually after Nurko, so I get to be able to continue the energy. And opening for an artist is very difficult, especially when you play a very different genre, because it can make or break the night. I've already curated my set a little differently than I normally would for, say, if I play in Denver, because New York City is just a very different crowd, especially somewhere like Harbor, which is a bottle service club.
Right.
Like, going after the artist, I'm allowed to continue building off of energy, and I don't have to worry about, people are just going to be there because they're waiting for Nurko to come on, or they're going to be mad that I'm going harder than Nurko or something like that. I have a little bit more freedom. Of course, I can't play a lot of things. Like, I wouldn't play drum and bass to a bottle service club like Nurko, and with Nurko. But I'm very excited that they put me on last. I have a full hour and a half to go crazy, and I get to. I'm just really excited. I've been looking forward to this show for a couple of weeks now, and it's great to finally be happening. I've been waiting to play a show in New York City, an official show in an official club in New York City for a very long time. So to have this day come, I'm very happy to be here.
I know this definitely something that you're definitely going to cherish, even if you're like the beginning or the last person. You're still going to make sure you make the most of it. And I would say this. I say it's kind of like any opener is like, yeah, sure, I know it's like a club, it's a bottle service club, I understand that, and you don't want to play certain genres, or like, I understand those type of thoughts in your head, but I feel like something I always want to tell openers, anyone who's like starting to put himself out there in the EDM world, in whatever genre they want to choose to make sure you're being yourself in your music. Don't just try and conform to an environment or to a crowd because it's gonna fit with this environment. If it's you, it's you. If this is something that you love to play, something that you really are passionate about, let people know who you are. This is me. This is Lonewulf, and don't let anyone tell you or make you feel any different. This is why, for someone like me, I'm very open-minded when it comes to people out there who are opening for bigger artists out there, and I make sure that I am hopefully there in the front row, at the rail, making sure I let them know I see you, I hear you, I notice you, and what you're doing, what you're making, what you're creating should not be ignored, should not be pushed aside, should not be conformed to follow this atmosphere of this place. No, don't try being like someone else out there or try and conform to what anyone else is doing. Be your first you. Be the best you that you can be. I think there's a happy medium to it, because I learned how to DJ and produce at the same time, so I don't consider myself one over the other. I consider myself both. And I think a good part of DJing is knowing your crowd, but I also don't want to be the one who say, like, I'm a hard wave artist. I'm not going to go play a techno set. I think I could still be myself and maybe just make slight changes. Like when I play in Denver, I play a bit more underground, like deep dubstep. I don't even like to use the word deep dubstep, but 140 and things that the crowd will like, and also still make it my own. And that's kind of what I'm doing tonight. I rarely play dubstep in my sets. I'm playing a little bit in my sets, and I'm playing a little bit of future bass, which I haven't done for. In fact, I'm playing a little bit of house. I've done that for a long time, so I'm kind of just trying to have fun with tonight. And kind of experimenting your set. Exactly. And this is something I feel like something tells you that this experimental set with a little bit of, you said dubstep, a little bit of future bass, and still will, and hopefully we'll hear a few, a few new tracks if they're going to be ready. I mean, I have a lot of unreleased music in this set. I'm very excited. I can hardly wait to hear it. And let me guess, will we hear that Lonewulf and Boss Boost track again?
Yes, we will.
I hopefully, because that's one artist I'm really loving to hear and loving to see. And I just hope that with the artists that you mentioned and the people who are supporting you, or you can kind of consider your friends or mentors, that they can, like, you know, bring you in and let you be on their bills or in their labels. I mean, you mentioned Hyman, you mentioned Remedy XC. I'm only thinking to myself, when will you know a certain, like, label, I don't know, Alter / Eagle bring you in, or maybe, you know, Sable Valley bring you in, because I swear to God, because I feel some of your music you're doing, with the mixing you're doing, fits those labels so well. So I just want to, like, let them know that keep your eyes on this man here.
Thank you.
Keep your eyes on this guy here, because this man here is going places. This man here is going to be going all over the place, not just in Denver, Michigan, and New York, but everywhere else as well. The world needs more Lonewulf. That's all I'm going to say. Just thank you so much for just blessing us with your music. I can hardly wait to see you, like, just pretty much close it all out at 2:30 and take it on home. I'd be more than happy to witness it. Thank you so much, Lonewulf, for this existing and making music. And just please make sure you follow this guy, look up this guy, and know that what he's doing is just the beginning of his journey, and it's gonna be amazing seeing him grow and grow and grow. Thanks so much for who you are and what you're doing. I really, truly appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching as well. Nurko, we love you. Orlos, we love you. O'Reilly, we love you. And Lonewulf, we love you as well. Thank you so much for just all your incredible work. This is Lonewulf for signing out. Peace.